Weekend box office is in, and Superman soared to an estimated $99.5 million for its opening weekend. When you add preview grosses, Superman's running tally is $122 million through Sunday, July 13th. You may see others report $122 as the weekend gross, but that is incorrect. Again, $122 is the total, but the opening weekend itself was $99.5. Capiche? But regardless of which number you look at, James Gunn's Superman fell far short of Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, and it even came in under Matt Reeves' The Batman. Now, there are conflicting reports circling around the internet, but I'm here to give you the objective box office breakdown of where Superman landed in the box office universe. And there are chapters on this video if you want to jump to that spicy James Gunn versus Zack Snyder action. First off, please note these are weekend estimates, which are based on solid numbers for Friday and Saturday, but a projection for Sunday. Actual grosses are finalized on Monday, and when that happens, Superman's weekend may climb to over $100 million because its studio, Warner Brothers, made a conservative projection for Sunday, which I appreciate. Better to underpromise and over-deliver. Anyway, so here's Superman's daily breakdown. It did $33.6 million on Friday and then rose 12% on Saturday to $37.7 million. Warner Brothers is projecting a 25% drop to $28.2 million on Sunday, equaling that $99.5 million weekend. But you'll soon see why that Sunday guess is conservative when we look at similar movies. James Gunn's previous movie, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, dipped 19% on Sunday and eked out a $100 million plus weekend in 2023. Back in 2022, Matt Reeves' The Batman eased 21% on its Sunday, though it was bigger than Superman in general, even with that 3-hour runtime. Arguably the best comp, though, is Spider-Man Homecoming, because, like Superman, it was a reboot of an A-list superhero, and it opened on the same July weekend, only back in 2017. It fell 21% on Sunday. So if Superman also falls 21% on Sunday, its weekend might come in at over $101 million when actual grosses are reported on Monday. But now it's time for the main event, the comparison with Man of Steel. Funny, through Friday, both Superman and Man of Steel had a $56.1 million total. But look at that Sunday for Man of Steel, a 0% drop. The new Superman won't be able to match that. But that's because Man of Steel's Sunday was Father's Day, way back in 2013. Movies with dad appeal don't drop, or they might go up on Father's Day. So in other words, Man of Steel's Sunday was an outlier situation, not the norm. By the way, there is some confusion about Man of Steel's previews. That $12.1 million was from special 7 p.m. Walmart screenings. Hey, the new Superman had Amazon screenings. Anyway, included in Man of Steel's $44 million Friday is $9 million from midnight screenings. Midnight is Friday, so technically that's the weekend. But since we're here, let's see what it looks like if we counted that $9 million as preview grosses. You see, that would put Man of Steel and the new Superman looking mighty similar through Saturday. The big asterisk, though, here is that this is not adjusted for ticket price inflation, but we'll get to that. First, let's see the new Superman's box office in the broader context of the Superman franchise. Its opening weekend ranks third, behind Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and Man of Steel. And a bit of history here. Superman 2 may seem small at $14.1 million, but it shattered the opening weekend box office record at the time. And before that, the first Superman set the benchmark when it made $10.4 million in its third weekend. So Superman has a history of breaking box office records, and don't let them tell you otherwise. Superman's the OG of superhero movies for a reason. Now, when we adjust for ticket price inflation, which is a form of estimating attendance, we see that the new Superman was slightly lower than Justice League. We also see that Man of Steel was over 60% bigger than the new Superman, and we note that in total gross, the 1978 Superman rules over them all. $650 million, baby! And speaking of attendance, the new Superman is estimated to have sold 7.7 million tickets through Sunday, according to Intelligence via Deadline. That means its average ticket price was $15.77, but I'm using the conservative $11.31 average for these adjustments. If you go with $15.77, that would drop the new Superman below Superman Returns. Now, let's look at James Gunn's Superman versus some relevant comps. As mentioned before, Matt Reeves' The Batman was bigger with $112.4 million, so have fun speculating what drama ensues behind the scenes at DC over that. New Superman, though, blew past Black Adam, The Rock's failed attempt to take over the DC universe. Meanwhile, Superman is about the same as Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, although Guardians would be higher if you adjust for ticket price inflation, just a bit higher. I include Thor Love and Thunder here because back in 2022, it came out on the same July weekend as Superman. And as hated as that movie is, it was still bigger than Superman. But one thing to note here about both Thor and Spider-Man Homecoming is that they each got past $300 million by the end of their runs, which is a good sign for Superman to do the same. Finally, let's look at Superman in the context of 2025. Superman had the third biggest opening of the year behind a Minecraft movie and Lilo and Stitch. And it's by far the top dog among comic book or superhero movies, soaring past Captain America Brave New World and Thunderbolts. Switching over to top grossers of the year, Superman is already the 11th biggest movie, swinging past another dog-oriented crime fighter, Dogman. Ultimately, Superman should surpass Sinners to take third place. And to be frank, with this kind of debut, it would be embarrassing if Superman didn't cross the $300 million mark. Now, I'll cover Superman's international box office in a separate video, but here's the upshot. It made an estimated $95 million internationally in 79 markets, or just 44% of its $217 million worldwide debut. In other words, America and Canada, aka domestic, showed notably more interest than the rest of the world did. Anyway, that's a wrap for now. Stay tuned to Box Office Revival for all the latest on Superman and his box office exploits. This has been Brandon Gray, creator of Box Office Mojo. Thank you for watching.